Egypt.
She is presently in Egypt.
Wow.
She said another movie is there. She
Wow.
said my husband was posted there. She left. So there she was handpicked and she wanted to become a doctor, but then again the girl died again. Opted for this kind, which is happening. And she said that I have like not placed my feet.
So
Free
sweet.
and she's very
Extremely well.
yes.
Wow. You should be very proud. You have only one kid?
I've got 3 kids. One is here. Another one is a Pakistan. She's also there in Chennai.
Are you guys from there? Where are you from?
Yeah, Judge Singh. Jammu Kashmir.
We're Dutching from Jalandhar.
Most of them would ask me.
Where in Jammu?
Jammu. Jammu.
You're from Samba. I studied in Samba for 3 years.
I thought I enjoyed English from there.
Honestly. Yes, I was previous fourth, fifth, sixth. Yeah. And my mom was vice president. Vice principal.
So she is the girl who's like going all gaga, gaga.
All the time, all the time.
And
So
after
many
my live, sir, kab aa rahe hain? Sir, kab aa rahe hain?
Aditi, that's okay. Accept it. No problems. Now that's perfectly
And
fine.
look at the
From
grin she's
Samba,
got.
Vijay-
Look at the smile she's got on her face. I especially came here for this functionality.
So I lived in Samba. And and then when we go to Jammu, then Vijayanagar comes after that. So you're from Samba or just
Vijayanagar is interior from the mainly from the
when you were teaching in army, it was first called Army Model School, you know. Initially, so I was there then when it was
Even
just
Aryan is from an army background.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
She's from her father's surname is also.
so I went to the same school where she was teaching in
And
Samba.
I am in and out.
Yeah.
My dad, husband, brother, in-laws, and son.
Where is he?
He's now posted to Pune in Siachen for 2 years.
Oh, lovely.
Just moved last month to Pune.
Which I was in Siachen. I went to the base and then I went.
Siachen is a base. There's so many pickets and posts. So he
No,
was
so I
nowhere.
went to post also. I went
Yeah.
on the.
He was in Chorbatla. Chorbatla is 18,000 feet. So he's there. My husband's in the
So
army.
you know Opi Baba's Mandir?
Yes, of
And then
course.
from there we went to the second camp.
Homi Baba, no one can miss once you go to Siachen. You have to
So there's one more when you go ahead of the parades and then the first camp comes. So I went to the second. This thing
So we went very briefly to Chorbatla because it's 18,000 plus, so we're not at Jamachari. So we were taken in an 18 just for 5 minutes, shown his post, shown his bed, and brought back.
that also gives your fortunes. Otherwise you won't.
Still serving, still my husband and I.
Lovely.
My dad was with the RT and my brother's an Air Force.
And other hands, what is it?
He's a he's army. So dad RT, husband army, son infantry.
What in countries?
Jat. So let's start with the
That's
questions.
from Rajasthan.
Oh, he's also an infantry.
My chacha's from India.
Again infantry.
And my nana's from Kumaon.
Again infantry. The hardcore infantry.
Yeah, but my grandfather went to NSC, and my chota youngest chacha also went to NSC.
Services and fighting and
पर घर पे माँ की चलती है.
Has to.
हमारे घर से तो नहीं चलती है, but it's okay.
So the newer generations are more inclined to job centuries and over regular 9 to 5 job. As someone who is given an opportunity to serve the army, of course you can go with what is your opinion on this job mentality? And do you think there's a negative impact on society?
I cannot comment on the negative impact on the society because we only know what the impact is in the years to come. You can't, while you're living through a time, you can't, if you don't have abilities to see the future, you can't really comment on how it's going to impact. Earlier in the day, there were armies were very important for countries because there was a lot of wars, small wars between neighboring nations. And up till last year, you would think that we were in a place where countries were focusing more on development of infrastructure and economies than armies. But now, in the last couple of years with Russia, Ukraine, Israel and Palestine, one wonders whether the world is again going to a place where your armies are the most important asset of the country. Having said that, the world has come to a place where a lot of content is consumed as compared to 5 years that point to now, you watch whatever you want to watch, made wherever in the world. So it's not even like you're only watching stuff that's made in Dehradun or India at any given time. You're watching something that's made in Mexico at any given time, anywhere, not even in front of the television, it could be anywhere. So when the movement that industries have, that means there's a lot of more content that has to be made. That means that industries not double, but 10 folds, 15 folds, 20 folds. That means there are more job opportunities there. And in any going on, wherever, whichever vertical of that economy moves more, say for example, it's mining or building bridges, more number of people want to do that. Like there was a time when there were more engineers that were there. Now there are engineers dime a dozen and they don't get jobs for 10,000 rupees. Some of those engineers from the MBA also get a job for 10,000 rupees. So it depends on what phase is a country or the world going through. Maybe in 3 years, 4 years, we'll only be talking about how everybody's getting really good at using AI, or right? In 3 years, and maybe ML, machine learning, or AI, or VFX, right? So I think at that time when everybody sees an opportunity that you can be a creator yourself, you can. There's not only that. I want. There was only 5 destinations that you work for. Sony, Star, DD, or this, but now you have OTTs, which are Indian OTTs, you have foreign OTTs, you have YouTube channels. There's so much more happening. Regional cinema, regional entertainment. There's not just one reality show that's made in one language, but that will be made in, say, Big Boss is made in Hindi, it's made in Telugu, it's made in Marathi. So when there is so much and there's so many job opportunities, people will obviously go and work there. So it's not, this would happen, this happened at a time when back in the day a lot of people would choose the army or the police or become engineering doctors. That time that was the profession because these people have enough. But that is saturated. Now if you say I want to become an engineer, then like, what are you going to do? You're going to MBA, then what are you going to do? You're not just one, like, you're not a special case. So I think depending on what generation you're growing up in, what is your aptitude, what is your aptitude, are you even good at it? And then you should decide it should be a trend. If it's a trend, then some people who are not, like, yeah, you can't follow a trend. You have to see your aptitude at the end of the day. Maybe everybody's going to entertainment, but if the founder of Oyo just went to entertainment, how would he start his business?
Yes.
Right? So it depends on what your aptitude is, but it's a very good time for us Indians, young kids, to achieve whatever they set their minds at, because there are lots of opportunities, there's a lot of exposure, and in institutes like this you get educated and you can pretty much figure out a way of going to a career and plan it. Because earlier there was like you guys said, I want to become a DJ, how do I go about it? There were no schools, there was no way of doing it. Now there are music schools, there are people who teach how to DJ. There are so many other DJs that you've seen have had proper careers of 20, 30 years, because that's something that you got to concentrate on. The career should be like 5 years or 10 years. It has to be a long career. So I feel like every 5-10 years there will be a kind of gold rush towards certain professions. Right now it's sports is the next one. Right? You'll see people just getting into sports because you've seen us winning lots of medals in because earlier there was not infrastructure for other sports other than cricket. Now there's infrastructure for all sports. So if you're good at any sport, your parents honestly because they see your future in it. Because as a developing nation, you're always apprehensive that, oh, you're very good at a certain sport, but aage jaake will this feed your family? Will you have resources? Because in other developed nations, it was the case that if you were even a motor racer, you would be taken care of. Whereas in India right now, a guy who's a bike racer doesn't have a future, but if you're a boxer, you probably can take care of yourself. If you're in athletics, you'll be okay, your kids will be okay. So I think it depends on where in the world and where is the world going. So content and entertainment is, everybody consumes it. Earlier, a taxi guy or a auto guy or a watchman didn't have access, but they consume content today. So it's such a big industry that people had to do. Too technical an answer, or should I?
2005.
And it was well detailed, very well.
This is like Madan is a saying of sports, my brother is preparing, so I'm now looking forward.
Earlier, it was people were apprehensive of just playing cricket a lot because they like India team was the only destination. Now, you can play IPL, you can also play Ranji Trophy, you can play lots of. There are also 2020 state-wise, like Rajasthan, Rajasthan. So a guy who's good enough, hasn't made it to the India team, doesn't have to be looking for funds. They even playing for a corporate, even playing because there's so much. And that's happening in other sports also, kabaddi also. What's the next question?
So, Aryan, let me ask.
Sir, you are a successful actor and personality who is recognized everywhere. How do you find privacy in the world of celebrity status? Has this been a question for you?
There's the pros and cons to every situation. I think people what is a celebrity? Celebrity is somebody who gets celebrated for what they do. So writer is a celebrity, a sportsman is a celebrity, politicians are celebrities because they're celebrated for being good at what they do. Teachers are celebrities because depending on there are lots of teachers who are celebrities also because they're celebrated for that. So the difference between being celebrated and taking yourself seriously about just being celebrated is where people kind of try to find themselves what happened also. I feel like everything I want to do in my life, if I continue to do those things, which was simple since I was young. I want to play a lot of sport, I want to ride motorcycle, go on a lot of adventures, spend time with my family. At that time it was just my parents and my brother and aunts, now also with my kids and my wife. If you continue to do that, being a celebrity doesn't really matter because if I am playing basketball, at the end of the day, being a celebrity doesn't help that ball go into the basket. You physically have to run fast. You have to go up and you've got to lay that ball into the basket, right? So till the time you have real things that kind of you can measure yourself as a human being, the celebrity status can be left behind your work. And I tend to go abroad a lot where I also don't live in India. I have a normal life. I pick up my kids. I drop them at the parks and I go for I do everything as a normal person. You gotta also surround yourself with people who take you as a person. My wife doesn't matter. She doesn't matter. Nothing matters to her. She doesn't care what I do, what I don't do. She tells me off all day long. My parents, they don't care about the celebrity status. They should love you for who you are. But otherwise, it's amazing when you get a lot of love. You should feel blessed and try to give it back. I feel like a lot of people become famous and are celebrities and then they hate the fact that they have no privacy. Then that's the con. The pros of being a senior army officer is that you have a great life, your family is respected. The con is that you really have to work hard. You have to go to the academy, you have to be a lieutenant, captain, a major, a lieutenant colonel before getting all these perks. Yeah, so everything has a pro and a con. So if you're famous and you're enjoying the pros, the cons is that you're going to save up on some of your privacy, which is okay, man. It's not bad.
Sir, are there any values or principles that you believe are crucial for success?
I think first you have to define what success is for you. If success is happiness, then of course your morals and values for a lot of people, they define success as the amount of money that you have, which in the last few years, if you're happier and healthier, then money doesn't matter. Because a lot of people are very rich and they just leave the richness to nobody or to kids. And even if, a quality of life is something that is very important to have for me. That is success. And for that, you will only have a quality of life have a lot of importance, and you will only do that if you have a good set of values. Otherwise, if your set of values are all money-based, the reason a human being is meant to work, to go back to the start of time is, I had an apple, but I want to have a banana. So I say, barter system. He had a cart, and I said, no, I want to go to that place, I want to see the waterfall, I'll go in your cart, I'll give you a bunch of apples. Right? So it's barter system. The only reason I need to have more apples is so that I can get the banana, get the cart, get some other stuff, right? To live a good life, you have to work. People forget that their life becomes work. So for me, success is where you can take time off, you can spend a lot of good time with your family and friends, and not only after you amassed wealth. At 50 or 60, if I have a lot of money, what am I going to do? I can't really go down the Grand Canyon on a motorcycle. Right? I need to do that now, or I should have done it in my 20s. I was in Brazil on a motorcycle when I was 20 years old, or in my 20s. But it doesn't look good if you, at this age where kids are waiting for you at home and you're in Brazil. Also do it at the right time. So balance is what I think success is for me, and for that you have to have all good morals and values. You have to prioritize things in your life which are important. The same set of values might not work for you, but you have to have a set of values by which you can prioritize what you want in life. Try to follow. No, you follow your set of values, because you have to determine what success is for you. Because your situation in life and my situation in life is a big difference, right? Where my parents might not need anything from me. Or there are people who need to really work hard because they have to fend for their parents, they have to get their sisters married, they have to take care of other people. So it depends on your resources. And then you should be only figuring out success. My success is this, and with that yardstick, you cannot compare other people's success. Happiness is I mostly wear sneakers because I think it's a way of expressing yourself, the clothes that you wear, and the sneakers that you wear. It tells a lot. It tells people a lot about who you are. So I got to do sneakers because of basketball, and I played a lot of basketball. In basketball, the only thing that you really strive to get is a pair of nice sneakers. There's no other equipment that's crazy. Like in cricket, there's bat, there's ball, then you want a helmet, then you want certain gloves. ये भी चाहिए, spikes भी चाहिए, guards भी चाहिए, shin guard भी चाहिए, bails भी होनी चाहिए, bails अभी उसमें light भी होनी चाहिए, ball white चाहिए, red भी चाहिए. You know, a lot of things. Basketball, you just sneakers, and the culture was such that the players had their own line of sneakers. So I'm a Michael Jordan fan, I want the Jordans. I'm a Kobe fan, I want the Kobe's. So, and then they kind of intertwined with the pop culture of different places. You watch Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and Will Smith would wear certain sneakers, and hip-hop artists started wearing sneakers, and Allen Iverson would do a crossover of street style with sneakers. So in 2001 I was in America and I was working in construction as a construction worker, and from that money I bought my first Jordans and Kobe's, and then I got a job at MTV in 2003. And my first pay, out of my first pay, I bought two pairs of Nikes, Vince Carter's, one for me, one was for my brother, who was in the 12th standard at the time. And since then, I've been buying sneakers. I have 4,500.
So, which one do you prefer? Jordan highs or Jordan lows?
As a kid, you have to have Jordan 1 high. But it again depends on preference. It's again what a person likes, what is the comfort level of a person, what are you wearing it for. Like I'm with a suit right now, if I wear Jordan 1 highs, I'm not very comfortable, so I'm wearing those. But it depends. It's not the same for everybody. I can't be a judge of this is what you should. If you like something, it could be hype or not hype. Happy with it. At the end of the day, all of these things have to make you feel good. If you're feeling good, you're in chappals, it's great.
Comfort just a little.
Maza aana chahiye. Like, things should give you happiness.
So, as we all know that your family has been serving in the military services for the past 5 generations. And as an army kid, you've been to 9 different
again, pros and cons of going to lots of schools. What happens is that I also went to a school which she was teaching in Samba. Samba is like 7-8 kilometers away from the LOC, and our regiment was posted there. I feel like the pros of going to so many places was that you saw different cultures, you know a lot about different places. Like they feel an instant connection with me because I know where Samba is, for example. I know I studied in Chennai for a year, so I know I can ask somebody, come to and they'll come back saying, oh, how do you know? Because my dad was an instructor. So I can call somebody and say, are you Tani Gudava? This is because you travel, you live in those places for a couple of years. This is the kind of exposure that people want so that they become worldly wise. They are, there's a term called street smart. Army also says it's street smart. They're street smart because they're one. Yeah, that helps. And then there are other people who sometimes don't take that as a pro. They're like, "Arey, I'll miss my school, my room, I'm leaving my room." So if you look at the glass half full, you also get the opportunity that that school was okay, but now nobody knows the strange things or the I got bullied in another school. So now I'm in a new school, fresh start. Right? So if you use it as an advantage, where nobody knows that something strange happened with you, something embarrassing happened with you. So I always thought that now I have 9 sets of like classmates. I mean, the earlier ones I'm not very in touch with, but it gives you an opportunity to get a fresh start in a new city. You have freshness, you have excitement. But I know a lot of people who suffered, who wouldn't want to go to a new place, and their parents suffered because the kid was like, I miss my room, I miss my best friend, I don't want to leave and all that. So I was lucky that my parents kind of brought us up in a way where it's just a way of our life and we just were excited to see and explore the next place. And we were pen pals with our old friend who write letters back saying missing you and all that.
Might be having friends throughout this life.
Yeah,
That's what is a charm.
there is. But at the same time, it's how you take to the situation, how you brought up. It depends on your parents. Good?
Thank you so much for your time, sir. And your answers were very meaningful. Very well. Thank you so much for that.
See, my daughter is also a learned person, and next person I have seen this kind of an answer that you are getting. Maybe you are again a knowledgeable person.
So sweet.
It was very nice
So
to meet
much
you.
concept.
Pleasure.
No matter where you go in this fascinating country, it is impossible not to witness the glory of colors of India. There is meaning and soul behind the reds, blues, yellows and oranges that you see in the charming ordinaries of every day. Satiating culture, color and culinary, unfading traditions, round the mountain street, and of course, super vibrant festivities. A very warm welcome to the distinguished chief guest, Mr. Ranvijay Singh Singha, the President, Mr. Amarjeet Singh Janeja, the Vice President, Mr. Madanjeet Singh Janeja, the Directors, Mr. Tarunjot Janeja, Mr. Gaganjot Janeja, and Mrs. Vartika Saha Janeja. Distinguished members of the board, respected Principal, Mrs. Ruchi Pradhan Datta, all esteemed guests, dear parents, members of the staff, and of course, my fellow Asianites. I, on behalf of the Asian family, welcome you all to grace the 24th Founders' Day celebrations. It has been said and believed for a very long time that for any great work to be done or achieved, it is important that we have the right foundation. And today, ladies and gentlemen, our school has entered yet another successful year, celebrating the proud history of our school and our country, India. With this, ladies and gentlemen, let me proudly present to you the theme of the 24th Founders' Day, the colors of India, Swarnim Bharat.
सुख, शांति, अमन और चैन का परचम पूरे विश्व में लहराएगा। स्वर्ग धरा पर उतर आएगा। मेरा भारत स्वर्णिम भारत कहलाएगा। स्वर्णिम भारत कहलाएगा।
Darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do it. Deepam symbolizes the light or lamp. It signifies the eradication of ignorance and the presence of knowledge, hope, and positivity. The lamp, which is kept lit for all auspicious occasions, symbolizes the triumph of good over evil and the victory of knowledge over ignorance. Now, may I request our esteemed chief guests, members of management, and the principal to please light the ceremonial lamp of wisdom and inaugurate the function. Which means the brave shall inherit the earth. This expression encapsulates that those who are courageous and determined will ultimately achieve success and prosperity. In commemorating our 24th Founders' Day, we are graced with the privilege of welcoming a figure whose narrative embodies the very essence of fortitude, aspirations and accomplishment, Mr. Ranvijay Singh Singha. Renowned for his exceptional achievements in the field of entertainment, Mr. Singha isn't just a familiar face on our screens, but a beacon of passion, determination, and unwavering dedication. Most of us know him as the iconic face of MTV Roadies, where he's been a mentor and a guide to countless young aspirants igniting the flame of determination and resilience. But beyond the glitz of the entertainment industry, his journey stands as a paragon of ardor and grit, embracing the challenges and transforming obstacles into opportunities. His journey from being a roadie himself to becoming a symbol of youth inspiration and mentorship reflects the values that our school embodies: persistence, innovation, and unyielding pursuit of dreams. So, ladies and gentlemen, with great honor and pleasure, we extend a very warm welcome to our esteemed chief guest, Mr. Ranvijay Singh Singha. Today's change is bigger than yesteryear's, and that is what our director, Mr. Gaganjot Juneja, believes in. Please join us in welcoming our esteemed director, whose dynamic leadership and visionary approach have been instrumental in shaping the future of the Asian School. We are honored to invite him on stage to share his inspiring insights and vision for our school community.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening, everybody. It is with great pleasure that I welcome you all to the 24th Founders Day celebration of our esteemed institution, the Asian School. It is indeed my happy privilege to welcome our distinguished chief guest, Mr. Ranvijay Singh Singha, who does not need any formal introduction, as all of us gathered here are aware of his unmatched talent. Mr. Singha is admired in the Indian film industry for his versatile acting skills and remarkable wisdom. Thank you, sir, for gracing us with your presence this evening. I would also like to welcome our distinguished parents who've taken out time to be the part of the most important day in our school calendar. Founders Day is not only just a tradition, it's a beacon of celebration of the milestones and achievements of our school. It's a moment to reflect on the time gone by in a year filled with growth, learning, and success. So as we gather here tonight, we are not just celebrating the end of another year. We are indeed celebrating a year of innovation, resilience, and unity. Our students have shown remarkable progress in academics, sports, and co-curricular activities. This speaks for the qualities and the pillars of the Asian School, which is to foster young minds in expanding their knowledge. The achievements stand as a testament to the commitment towards the school. The Founders Day is also a platform for us to acknowledge and appreciate the effort of our staff members. It is their hard work and dedication that helps us shape the future of our students. The way our teachers work tirelessly to connect with the students and their families with such passion, flexibility, and grace shows me how deeply invested they are in teaching and nurturing the students here. I would also like to express our gratitude to the parents for their consistent support and belief in the school's mission. At the Asian School, we always encourage the students and the faculty to grow through what they go through, learning from life experiences in the process. As we look forward to another year, let us embrace the challenges and opportunities that lie ahead. I'm confident that together we can nurture a culture of excellence, learning, and personal growth. Hence, I'd like this Founders Day to be a reminder that our journey is only onward and upward, and there's always room for improvement. As a relatively young director myself, I recognize the significance of cultivating an environment that caters to diverse needs of each student. At the heart of our institution lies the fundamental belief that a disciplined and comprehensive education is the key to success. Discipline is integral to education philosophy, and we firmly believe that it forms the foundation for excellence in academics, sports, and other pursuits. We encourage our students to develop self-discipline and sense of responsibility towards themselves and their peers. It is through these invaluable principles that they will learn to lead fulfilling lives and become successful individuals in the chosen paths. Academics form a pivotal component of our curriculum, and we strive to provide our students with a challenging and enriching educational experience. We believe that every student has the potential to achieve great things, and it is our responsibility to nurture their talents and abilities. We offer a supportive and stimulating learning environment to help our students develop the critical thinking, problem solving, and communication skills necessary to thrive in today's world. However, our mission at the Asian School is not just to produce exceptional scholars. We believe that education must go beyond academic pursuits. We strive to make all our students sound and better individuals, and we do this by fostering a sense of community and empathy. In conclusion, I would like to restate our commitment to providing a disciplined, challenging, and nurturing educational experience for all our students. With this, I wish you all happy Founders Day celebration and look forward to seeing our students thrive and make a positive impact on the world. Have a nice evening and happy Diwali everyone. Thank you.